sent it out of here over the left field wall. A solo shot for Risley. It's 5-1. Wade, the left-hander, pitches. Guerin hits high to center field. Center fielder going back. It is off the batter's eye. Guerin crushed it. Straight away center. Right on cue. 7-1 Hawks. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The pitch from Anthony. Hit on a line into center. Risley's there. He caught it for the 3rd and final out. The Cats go down 1-2-3 in the 9th. Iowa dominates again, 7-1. That's a Hawkeye winner. And the Hawkeyes were in line for their 3rd straight conference sweep, but Northwestern won the Sunday game 5-4 and walked off the Hawkeyes. Next pitch to Schulte. Cooper lines into right field. It's tailing. It is fair and into the corner. Beeman's around second. He's headed to third. Mitch Bowe's waving him around third. Here's the throw. Play at the plate. Safe. Schulte slides into third with a big-time triple. It's 3-2. The 0-1 from Tyler. Lined into right field. Beeman moving over. Jackson dove. He caught it. Beeman with the grab in the gap. 2 down. Good hitter for Northwestern. The 1-0. Line drive. Caught by Guerin. He leapt up and he grabbed it for the 3rd out. That would have been trouble. But Blake, standing at 6'6", made the catch. Blake Guerin, the batter. Tying run, Risley at first base. Guerin swings at the first pitch, lines it into left center field, and it is off the left fielder's glove and to the wall. Risley's around third. He's going to score. We're tied. Guerin tied us up with a double. So 2 out of 3 for Iowa in Evanston against Northwestern. We're back for a midweek matchup against Milwaukee this afternoon. John talks with Tyler Cropley, the Director of Programs and Player Strategies, right after this. This is Hawkeye Baseball from Learfield.
If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide, experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, or just need someone to listen, 988 provides a direct connection to free, confidential, and compassionate support. When you call, text, or chat 988, you'll be quickly connected to trained crisis counselors who will listen to your concerns, provide support, and connect you to additional resources if needed. There is hope. You are not alone. For 24/7 support, call or text 988 or chat 988lifeline.org.
Whether you're traveling for business, pleasure, sports, or with one of our guided tours, our team of travel experts at Travel Leaders Destinations Unlimited will ensure you have a memorable, worry-free experience. Let our professional travel advisors with extensive travel experience and destination knowledge handle your every travel need. Family-owned and operated, Travel Leaders Destinations Unlimited has been serving the Hawkeye community for many years, receiving the Agency of Choice Award several times. Make your travels easy with Travel Leaders Destinations Unlimited at duagency.com.
Brown Deer Golf Club offers a pure golf experience. Manicured bentgrass fairways with tees and greens carved into gracefully rolling landscape. Challenging, yet extremely playable. Improve your game with PGA instruction and our full-service pro shop. Treat yourself to Bunker's Bar and Grill for lunch or dinner. And our scenic Greenview Banquet Room is perfect for weddings or any special event. Brown Deer Golf Club, a stunning country club setting at affordable public rates.
Hello, Iowa. Here's a promise. Wherever you are in this great state, University of Iowa Healthcare is here for you, even if you never walk through our doors. Educating, caring, leading research, sharing our expertise with all. Because we believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
Welcome back to Hawkeye Pregame. I'm here with Tyler Cropley. Crop, thanks for joining me, man.
Yeah, no problem.
So, we were just joking about your title, and I'm going to go with the easy one, first base coach.
Yeah.
Michael, play the interview.
Welcome back to Hawkeye Pregame. I'm here with Tyler Cropley. Crop, thanks for joining me, man.
Yeah, no problem.
So, we were just joking about your title, and I'm going to go with the easy one, first base coach.
Yep.
What's your main role here at Iowa now?
Helping with the catching and then working with Marty a little bit on the hitting too, coming up with some different ideas and watching film and kind of coming up with a plan for the starter and then going with the bullpen guys too.
Yeah, the scouting reports have always, Marty, I thought's always done a great job with scouts, and you've really added to that. It's been fun to kind of watch that stuff.
Yeah, we're coming together pretty good and like trying to go back and forth of what we see and what we think the guys can do really good, and then kind of come up with a game plan from there.
So for the people that don't remember you played back here. You actually played with Mitch too.
Mm-hmm.
What was how long ago was that, and what was that like?
Yeah, 17 and 18 I was here. It was a lot of fun. Mitch and I got along. We did a lot of stuff off the field together, good and bad, but no, it's a lot of fun being back with him and being back in Iowa City after a long time away, it seemed like, for those 6 years. But good to be back and happy to be on the field helping him out.
And you had a good journey in pro ball
Doing
too,
an IT
right?
check.
Yeah, I did. It was a lot of fun.
Ask him
long
why
6 years, but
it's
worth every
blocked.
second.
Then made the debut last year. Actually got all the way up to the bigs.
Yep, in September of 23, got up there and had...
Or 2 years ago,
Yep,
sorry.
yep, had a hit and RBI in my first game, so I knocked those out right away, and that was a lot of fun. Big weight off my chest going forward.
You've told the story to the guys, and I've heard with the managers a little bit that you said it didn't feel any different playing in a major league stadium as it did in Banks or minor league field.
Yeah, it's the only thing that's different is just the crowd and how big the stadium is. But other than that, it's just the same game, and that's how I've tried telling everybody is if you work at it and you trust what, like Coach Heller says, trust the process, and it's going to be there. And that's what I always did. And when my shot came, I did what I thought I could do, and it worked out for me.
Pretty cool. All right, so away from the field, you're now a new dad. Congratulations.
Yep.
What tell us a little bit about the family.
Yeah, we got the second one, came on Friday, and so we're getting used to having two in the house and not playing zone anymore. We got to play man-to-man, but no, it's good. Everybody's doing really good, and I'm excited to have them at the ballpark here coming up soon.
So we also then, what else besides baseball? I know you and I talk about we talk about golf. Just got done doing that. What else do you do for fun away from the field?
Yeah, I grew up on a lake, so I do a lot of fishing in the summertime, and then do a lot of hunting in the fall, which is a lot of fun. But other than that, now it's hanging out with the kiddos and the wife, and we got 3 labs at home too, so it's a house full. But it's a lot of fun, and we get to do a lot of different things.
And then you just fit this baseball thing in on the side for fun.
Yep, now we do. Yep.
Help build the baseball Jones.
Yep.
So what? Obviously, you've seen a lot of ball. What do you think the group's got to do, or what do you hope to see out of the last? What are we now, month and a half of the season?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of coming down to the end of the year. You look at the schedule, it's like, all right, we got some series coming up that are going to be really big for us, and I think we're going to keep building on what we've done the first part of the conference play here, and then go into these next ones knowing that, all right, we're good. We can play. It's just we got to keep sticking to what we're doing really well and not try and do too much. And it seems like when stuff starts to go bad with any team, it's when they try and do too much and be players that they're not. Whether that's trying to hit homers in situations where you shouldn't, or you're trying to get too big, or you should be playing small ball in a different situation, or trying to get a strikeout when you just need a ground ball and stuff like that. And I think if they keep doing what they've been doing, we'll have success here coming up in the next 6 weeks.
How hard is it? John Leo and I kind of joke about from time to time how long the baseball season feels. Obviously, we never throw a pitch. We don't get hit by a pitch.
Yep.
We don't have anything that really aches and pains other than me just being an old guy. What's it like now? 30 games in, you got 30 to go. How do you keep it fresh so that everybody kind of stays engaged and does what they're supposed to do?
Yeah, there's a lot of different things that they got nowadays. I think Ryan Coaster does a really good job in the weight room, keeping them under wraps and not letting them do too much in there. But it's you got to stay strong throughout the season. And if you skip out on the weight room, you're not going to be ready at the end when you got those last 10 games or 12 games, whatever it is. And I think they're doing a really good job with that. But it's more of a mental thing, like you said. It's a long season, and keeping your mind sharp. So these off days that they got to go do something to get their mind off of it. Whether it's going to the library, whether it's doing their schoolwork, or if they're getting away with friends out to eat or whatever it is, go golf or do something. They have to have a reset, and that's the biggest thing that I found over the years is having something to go back to, knowing that it's going to be a long week, and get your mind off of it before you got to lock back in.
So Reese was behind the plate a little bit last year. Birdie really wasn't because he got hurt.
Yep.
And then you get some new guys. What have you been able to kind of help get all them up to speed? I feel like guys behind the plate have done a good job receiving the ball and throwing it pretty well. How have you kind of helped bring everybody to speed that way?
Yeah, they've been doing really good, and I think Ty Snap had a really good foundation at the beginning, and I just kind of built off of that. And I didn't really try and come in and try and change everything that they've been doing because Ty was doing the stuff that I always thought was going to work and have success in college, and I think they just kind of ran with it, and they like listening to what I have to say, even though sometimes I may not be right, which is a good thing. I mean, they want to learn and they want to get better, and that's all I really ask for out of them.
Yeah, that's so. Daniel had played some catcher before and moved him in. How was that transition with kind of he was new too, I guess. So would that make it easier, harder? Because he didn't really have any habits to break, so to speak.
Right, and that's the main thing is, like, if you don't have habits to break, you can kind of mold them into whoever you want them to be. And knowing where the game is going with some of the stuff that he's doing in the game, it set him up for a lot of success. And are there some things where you're going to be not in the right position sometimes? Yeah, but at the same time, you're going to be in better positions more often than you're not. And that's kind of what I sold him on and sold Coach Heller on is, like, we're gonna do some stuff a little bit different, but there's a reason for it and there's a why behind it, and that's what I've always been told. If there's a reason behind what you're doing, it may be wrong, but have a reason for it, and just kind of roll with it and see what happens. And if you got to change it, you change it. But as of right now, we're just gonna keep rolling with it, and it's been going pretty good for all of them.
The idea, if you do something 100%, even if it's 100% in a slightly wrong direction, it's better than halfway on something.
Yep.
All right, well, I know you got some other things to take care of, so I'm going to let you go and appreciate your time.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, John.
Tyler Cropley. We never did get to the official title, but
no, we did not.
First base coach for your Iowa Hawkeyes. We'll be back after this with, I think John got Coach Sutherland, so we'll see who we got for pregame with Coach Heller on the shelf. So this is Hawkeye Baseball from Learfield.
Different people have different needs. Delta Dental of Iowa has affordable dental and vision coverage that meets you where you are. Small business on a budget? We have options with no employer costs. Traditional Medicare plans don't cover dental, but we do. And if you can't get benefits at work, you can buy direct from us. Plus, we give back to your community. Visit sharinghealthysmiles.com and choose Delta Dental. For your smile, for your health, for your community.
Iowa Hawkeyes women's basketball forward Hannah Stuelke teamed up with 22 & Vine at Riverside Casino and Golf Resort to bring you an exclusive creation, the Hamburger. This mouthwatering masterpiece features 2 delicious sausage and beef patties with crispy bacon jam, melted American cheese, and a perfectly fried egg, all nestled on a French toast caramelized brioche bun. Experience the Hamburger today, available only at 22 & Vine. It's a game changer.
What does it mean to be locally owned and operated? For Cenex, it means everything. It means that we know if you take your coffee to go or if you like to stay a while. It means we've helped Little Leagues get jerseys and local festivals get funding. It means we know what our communities need. So you'll always leave Cenex with a full tank, full of snacks, or full of smiles. Or all of the above. And that means the world to us. Cenex, powered locally.
Across Iowa, you don't have to look far to find a bank that's got your back. From just around the corner to the next town over, hundreds of neighborhood banks are going the distance to ensure your future looks brighter than ever. By providing jobs, supporting local businesses, strengthening communities, and helping your dreams become reality. Here, the life you build is backed by Iowa banks. See how banks are making a difference near you at iowabankers.com.
Welcome back to pregame coverage of Iowa Hawkeye baseball today. The Hawkeyes at home against UW Milwaukee. The Panthers in town. We're joined by head coach of the Hawkeyes, Rick Heller. Coach, a good battle on Sunday against Northwestern.
Yes, it was a good battle. It was a good baseball game, and one you always wish you could win them, especially with the comeback effort in the ninth and big hit by Blake Guerin and Miles Risley, and then few inches, and Ben Wilmus catches the ball in left field, and we go to extra innings, but it wasn't to be. We ended up losing walk-off loss on Sunday, but it was one of them losses where you feel bad about it. There were opportunities, but in reality, we played really well, and they played really well. And we talked before the game, the starting pitcher they were throwing, he was a tough matchup if he threw strikes, and he changed everything with his pitches that he had done in the past. He had like a 25% changeup usage rate, and he went like 68% that day. And it was uncanny. Like he was spotting it right at the bottom of the zone. He was right on the edge, and he was getting the calls. Well, when you get the calls, and our plan, we're trying to stay off that. But when you're getting the calls, then you got to swing at it. And so consequently, what did you see? A lot of ground balls, a lot of ground ball outs on swings at the bottom of the zone. He really didn't falter. You kept thinking, all right, third inning, fourth inning, that he's gonna start missing up or missing, and he really didn't. And we had some guys that played great in that game. Miles Risley had a great game. Blake Guerin had a great game. Cooper Schulte had another great game. The problem was we had 0 for every other guy. We had 0 for, and that's the reason that we weren't able to break that game open when we had the opportunities. They buckled down and pitched some of our guys pretty well. And anyway, it was one you wish you had back, and you hate to give up two. We gave up 2 free bases in the 9th inning, and I mean, you just can't do that and expect to win, and that was disappointing how that happened. And but you move on.
Cooper Schulte and Cade Obermueller, weekly Big Ten Conference Awards again this week after a good performance last week.
Yeah, that's great. That's great to see. I thought Cade pitched awesome on Friday, as we talked about, and then Cooper had a fantastic weekend at Northwestern. He broke out and had a bunch of hits, a bunch of clutch hits, made some nice plays defensively, and I thought Cooper played really, really well.
12-3 halfway through the Big Ten season, Coach. Just your thoughts on the first half of Big Ten play.
Well, it really couldn't have been a whole lot better. The 3 losses all were games we could have won. I mean, just the way it is. I mean, we lose 2 one-run games, one in the bottom of the 9th, and then the other game we lost was to Michigan State in 11 innings. So as far as consistency in the first 15 conference games, you couldn't ask for much more from a team than what we've seen from our team, and couldn't be prouder of their effort. We've put ourselves in a really good place, and I think if you'd have told anybody that we were going to be 12-3 in the first 15 games, we'd all taken that. And it's just as I mean, you're around it with us. It's like, gosh dang, you had a chance to be undefeated. I mean, really. I mean, without a break here, a break there, or hit here, or hit there. I mean, it's about all you can ask. I mean, you can't ask for anything more than to have a chance to win every game you play in, and that's what we try to do. And the guys have just played extremely well at this point, and it doesn't get easier, obviously, so we're going to need to keep that up. But to this point in the conference season, really happy and really pleased with how our guys have competed.
Midweek opportunity at home today against Milwaukee. Weather's better down here, so we're going to play it in Iowa City instead of up north there. What do you see from the Panthers in town today?
Well, first of all, I'm happy that their staff agreed to come down, because it was borderline not playable, right at the limit, and it was going to be a cold and miserable day for everybody, even if we did. And those guys making the arrangements to come down, and we'll go back up there next year, and make the game up to them. But we have a nice day here in Iowa City, and the thing that we looked at was there's very little wind today, and that you don't get that very often this time of year. It's not crazy warm, but it'll feel a lot better with the sun out and no wind. So I'm happy that we're able to play and get some guys out there and get them a chance to get some innings. And there's some roles open on the weekend. It'd be great to see some of these guys step up on the midweek and say, I want that role, and snatch it. And that's kind of the message to those guys. It's like, in case you're not paying attention, we've got some guys that haven't got the job done as much as they need to. And if you want one of them spots, start showing us. And hopefully that happens today. And I'm going to play a couple different guys out there this afternoon. Kelton Strohmeyer's going to go out. Stroh's been a great teammate, and he's done well when he's been out there. He just hadn't had a lot of opportunities, and thought today would be a good day to run Stroh out there and give him a start and let him play. And going to give Ben Wilmus at least a partial day off from the start. And we're just thinking, for future down the road next year, whatever, throw Ben Swales in the leadoff spot and see how that goes, or something would ever, hopefully it doesn't, but something would ever happen to Ben. We had been thinking that, Swales might be a good fit for that. If anything would happen, or even something as we look for next year's roster with Wilmus leaving, because that's going to be a big hole for us to fill, and he's done such a fantastic job in that leadoff spot. But then we'll go back with Beeman, and the corner outfielders would be Strohmeyer and Beeman, and then Blake Guerin at first, and then I think Tyler Guerin is a really good hitter, and he when he's on the board all the time, it's tough to get him at bats. Yeah. But today we just said, we're going to put him out there as a DH and let him hit. And we're going to catch Reese Moore. Reese hadn't caught it in a while, and need to get Reese going behind the plate. And that way we'll have Dan Rogers gets a break, but Dan can come in either the DH or he can come in and catch part of the game, the second part of the game if we need to. But as far as what we're going to look for in Milwaukee, my history of playing Milwaukee goes way back, back to my UNI days, where we played them virtually every year. And, they always swing the bats really well. They're going to run some decent arms at us, and they're going to play hard, and that's what they've always done. And, really, I think first-class program, coaches do a great job. And, we're going to have to play well if we're going to beat them today. And that's what we told the guys.
Feels like maybe a hitter-friendly day at Banks today. You mentioned the lack of wind, and it's warm enough out there.
Mm-hmm.
See a lot of power in the lineup today.
Yeah, you hope so. You hope it works out that way. The thing we're going to need to do against the arms, we're going to see. I don't know if you looked at the stats, John, but you're going to see some strikeout guys, but also some guys that have walked a lot. So sometimes that can play in your benefit. Sometimes when they're effectively wild, it doesn't play in your benefit. You get ball here, uncompetitive, and then boom, on the corner. Those are rough days too if you run into something like that. But our guys are going to have to be disciplined, which we have been most of the year. That's our strength offensively. So their kind of weakness with the arms that they'll throw at us today falls into our strengths. So I feel good about it.
Before we let you go, Coach, the pitching plan, I know we like to talk about it. 9 pitchers today, or do we maybe run a couple longer?
Well, it's going to be we're going to start Jaron Bleeker, and the plan would be to let Jaron run at least 2 innings and see how it goes, and then we'll just kind of play it by ear from there. With it's not as mapped out, like detailed inning as we've done. Today we're playing it in a way where we're kind of going to look at matchups when guys come up through the lineup and get them in there, and then if hopefully we can be in a good place and have a lead, and then you can avoid throwing Watts and Wright and Hogue if at all possible, and even Tyler Guerin after he threw more than he normally does on the weekend. So that would be ideal, but you've been a part of this a long time, and most Tuesdays and Wednesdays aren't ideal. Yeah. They usually don't always go as planned. Right. But if this one would go as planned, that would be the perfect scenario for us. But all those guys are able to go and on the board, and we'll use them as we see necessary.
All right, Coach, thanks for your time. Good luck against Milwaukee today.
All right, thanks, Sean.
Head coach of the Hawkeyes, Rick Keller, on our pregame show from Banks. We'll get you starting lineups and first pitch right after this. This is Hawkeye Baseball from Learfield.
Hi, I'm Gary Dolphin, and if you want your home to be exceptionally comfortable during these cold Iowa winters and hot, humid summers, you need to turn to Dave Lennox and your local Lennox home comfort specialist. Lennox has been serving Iowa consumers since 1895, when Dave Lennox built his first furnace in Marshalltown, and Lennox is still building its high-efficiency furnaces and air conditioners there today. For the best home comfort system you can buy, it's Lennox and your local Lennox dealer. Lennox and the Hawkeyes. Now there's a winning combination. American Equity salutes today's hero of the game. As a proud sponsor of the ongoing recognition of our military during Hawkeye games this season, please join American Equity in thanking all who have served our country. American Equity is more than just retirement savings and income products. They are committed to providing you best-in-class service and high-quality retirement income that helps deliver the independence to dream and reach your goals. To learn more about American Equity, please visit their website at american-equity.com.
Iowa and Milwaukee from Banks this afternoon. We'll get you the lineups right after this. This is Hawkeye Baseball from Learfield.
Different people have different needs. Delta Dental of Iowa has affordable dental and vision coverage that meets you where you are. Small business on a budget? We have options with no employer costs. Traditional Medicare plans don't cover dental, but we do. And if you can't get benefits at work, you can buy direct from us. Plus, we give back to your community. Visit sharinghealthysmiles.com and choose Delta Dental. For your smile, for your health, for your community.
Iowa Hawkeyes women's basketball forward Hannah Stuelke teamed up with 22 & Vine at Riverside Casino and Golf Resort to bring you an exclusive creation, the Hamburger. This mouthwatering masterpiece features 2 delicious sausage and beef patties with crispy bacon jam, melted American cheese, and a perfectly fried egg, all nestled on a French toast caramelized brioche bun. Experience the Hamburger today, available only at 22 & Vine. It's a game changer.
Iowa has taken the field. We're getting ready for first pitch. But first, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is Iowa Hawkeye Baseball. John Evans and John Leo with you from Dwayne Banks Field in Iowa City as we get set for today's midweek matchup between the Milwaukee Panthers and the Iowa Hawkeyes. This game was supposed to be played in Milwaukee, but the weather is better in Iowa City than it is in Milwaukee. So we're going to play it here at Dwayne Banks. And to my right today, the return of John Evans. John, good to have you back.
Good to be back. I'm not sad that I didn't have to jump in a car and drive 4 hours to Milwaukee to make my return, though.
We're ready to bring you Iowa Hawkeye Baseball today on the Hawkeye Radio Network and on Big Ten Plus. Let's get you today's starting lineups. We'll go first with the Milwaukee Panthers. Gabe Ressler is the leadoff man, and he plays shortstop. Tate Schmidt at second base, batting second. Tyler Bickers is the third baseman, batting third. Middle of the order, Charlie Marion in right field, Caden Headley in center, Justin Hauser at first base. Thomas Otto is the catcher, John Hadley is the DH, and Cade Pelkowski in left field. For Iowa defensively, on the infield left to right, Cooper Schulte at third, Gable Mitchell at short, Ben Swales at second, Blake Guerin at first base today. In the outfield left to right, Kellen Strohmeyer gets the start, Miles Risley in center, Jackson Beeman in right. Strohmeyer starting for Wilmus, who gets the day off. Reese Moore is the catcher, and pitching for Iowa today is Jaron Bleeker. He'll get the start in the midweek.
6 appearances for Bleek, including 2 starts. He's 2-0 with a 5.68 ERA. 6 1/3 innings, 9 hits, 5 runs, just 4 of those earned. He's walked 4 and struck out 9. Freshman will try to improve on his resume a little bit more.
Bleeker's first pitch is hit down the left field line and fair. Into the corner, and Ressler's around first, headed for second. And on the first pitch of the game, Milwaukee has a leadoff double. He tucked that right inside the bag.
Yeah, a little unlucky there. That's a good pitch. Fastball, 91 miles an hour, right down at the bottom of the zone. Kind of hit it off the end of the bat, but perfectly placed, snuck it past Schulte at third. One of the things that Kyle and I were talking about before the game, Milwaukee doesn't have a great team batting average, but a ton of extra base hits. So a lot of well placed and some good pop there through the lineup.
Next batter is Tate Schmidt, left-handed hitter. He swings and misses at a good changeup from Bleeker. Yeah, John, Milwaukee bats .252 as a team, but they've got 55 doubles, now 56 after the leadoff double from Ressler.
And obviously aggressive. First 2 batters swung at the first pitch.
No balls and a strike on Schmidt. Here's the pitch. It's grounded softly to the right side. Swales charges hard from second, flips it quickly to Guerin at first base for out number 1. Ressler advances from second to third.
Another weak contact, but did a job. Is able to move the runner up. And runner on third now with less than 2 out.
Third baseman number 20.
Here's Tyler Bickers, the third baseman. Best hitter on the team for Milwaukee. .333 average. Has 16 RBIs on the season. Infield comes in for Iowa, also shifted to the left side. First pitch from Bleeker is inside, ball 1. David Ewell is calling balls and strikes behind home plate today. Terry Hygett at first base, Matt Winner out at second, Chris Dykman at third. 1 ball, no strikes. Bleeker pitching to Bickers. Here it comes. That's low and in, ball 2. Two balls, no strikes on Bickers, right-handed hitter. Bleeker missed inside again, 3-0.
Don't always see the infield in and then with the shift as well. So 3 infielders jammed over on the third base side.
Bleeker warned by the home plate umpire today. A quick change immediately on the umpires. Thomas Burrell, he's calling balls and strikes behind home plate today. Don Umland, Christopher Viverito, and Brett Meal, the other umpires today. 3-0 pitch is low. It's a 4-pitch walk of Bickers.
Probably see now the middle infield will drop back. They'll try to turn a double play. Your corners might stay in here on the left-handed hitter.
22, Charlie Marion.
Put the double play back in action.
Marion, though, got some pop. 17 extra base hits, including 6 home runs. So have to be particular and make your pitch here.
Reese will go out and talk with Bleeker on the mound. It's a nice day in Iowa City. Upper 40s, low 50s. Not a cloud in the sky. Sun shining down.
I think most importantly is the 5-mile-an-hour wind. That makes all the rest of it tolerable.
You can't read the names of the schools on the flags in the outfield. You're just color coordinated, color association only.
Well, that was how I noticed we've got the USC and the UCLA flags out there, so that was new.
Yeah, now the full complement of Big Ten schools out there. They had to add a few flagpoles, don't you think? I see Washington and Oregon over to the left.
I think they're supposed to.
First and third, 1 out for Charlie Marion. Left-handed hitter. First pitch from Bleeker. Just low and out. Ball 1.
After getting the first 2 guys to swing early, Bleek's had a hard time in the strike zone here with the last 2.
Here's the 1-0. Low, ball 2.
And that'll draw Coach Kenny out of the Iowa dugout.
I heard from Coach Heller before the game. The plan, ideally, would be to have Bleeker go a couple of innings in this start, and a little bit atypical from what Iowa usually does with the plan of 9 pitchers, a new pitcher every inning. Not quite the plan today, but as you also heard Coach Heller say, how often do these midweeks go to plan?
Well, and we've heard the 9 pitchers in 9 innings. We've even heard the 9 pitchers or more.
Right.
And so it would be kind of a bit of a throwback if Iowa went to 4 or 5 pitchers and 6 pitchers instead. But Bleek's got to do the first part of the job here and get back in the strike zone and get some outs.
Mound visit wrapping up. Iowa wearing their black tops today with the gold script. White pants, white caps with the black script eye on the front panel. All gray uniforms for Milwaukee. Black stripe down the side. 2 balls and no strikes on Marion. Here's the pitch. It's high. Ball 3.
That was actually the first pitch he's thrown up. So whatever the visit was, at least it was something different.
You got the outside corner there, 3-1. He had been missing downstairs early in the outing.
Yeah, Marion slugs .570. Kind of well ahead of everybody in the starting lineup here for Milwaukee.
Pickoff move over to first base. Not much of a lead from Bickers over there. Bleeker pitched against Bradley last week. 3 balls and a strike. The pitch from Jaron, high, ball 4. Bases are loaded for Milwaukee in the first inning. A double and 2 walks. And Caden Headley coming to the plate, a senior center fielder. Stands in from the right side. He's got some pop here too, John.
Yeah, 5 for 5 in stolen bases too, so it might be a tough double play candidate, but also has 26 strikeouts, so a guy that maybe you can get a K if you can get back in the strike zone.
Bases loaded, 1 out. First pitch from Bleeker is up and in. Milwaukee not too eager to swing the bat. They haven't seen enough pitches around the zone from Jaron yet. Infield shifted over to the left just a bit. Bleeker's 1-0. That's a high strike call, 1-1.
Yeah, good job with the off-speed pitch there. Was able to land that. Hasn't been too far off the mark, just hasn't been sharp enough to get a strike.
1-1 pitch. Just inside. 2 balls and 1 strike now on Headley. Headley bats .286. The 2-1, that's right down the middle. 2-2, called strike.
But that was the one that Headley probably was looking for. That might be the best pitch he sees.
Haven't seen a ton of spin from Jaron yet. A couple change-ups. We'll see what he throws here. 2 balls, 2 strikes with 1 out, and the bases loaded for the Panthers. Here it comes. Ground ball up the middle. Mitchell grabs it. He steps on second base, throws to first for the double play. 6-3 on the double play.
Well, that's how you bail your pitcher out. You make a great defensive play, good acrobatic play by Mitchell at second base, and jam's over.
A little bit of trouble for Iowa in the first inning, but we'll go to the bottom half. No score between Milwaukee and Iowa. This is Hawkeye Baseball from Learfield.
If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide, experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, 988 provides a direct connection to free, confidential, and compassionate support. You'll be quickly connected to trained crisis counselors who will listen to your concerns and connect you to additional resources if needed. There is hope. For 24/7 support, call or text 988 or chat 988lifeline.org. A message from Iowa HHS.
Brown Deer Golf Club offers a pure golf experience. Manicured bentgrass fairways with tees and greens carved into gracefully rolling landscape. Challenging, yet extremely playable. Improve your game with PGA instruction and our full-service pro shop. Treat yourself to Bunker's Bar and Grill for lunch or dinner. And our scenic Greenview Banquet Room is perfect for weddings or any special event. Brown Deer Golf Club, a stunning country club setting at affordable public rates.
Welcome back to Hawkeye Baseball. We can all help prevent suicide. There is hope with a 988 lifeline. Call or text 988 now.
Bottom of the first inning in Iowa City. The Hawkeyes a little bit of danger in the top of the first, and Milwaukee had the bases loaded before a double play. Turned by Gable Mitchell. Keeps the Panthers off the scoreboard. We'll go to the bottom of the first. With this batting order for Iowa, a few changes. Ben Wilmus gets the day off, so Ben Swales will lead off. He's playing second base for Iowa. Gable Mitchell, the shortstop, Reese Moore, the catcher, make up the top 3 hitters for the Hawkeyes this evening. Miles Risley, Blake Guerin, and Tyler Guerin in the middle of the order. Jackson Beeman, Cooper Schulte, and Kellen Strohmeyer, 7, 8, 9. Again for the Hawkeyes, Swales at second, Mitchell at short. Moore is the catcher. Risley's in center. Blake Guerin at first base. Tyler Guerin, the DH. Beeman is in right. Schulte at third, and Strohmeyer in left. Mason Weckler is the pitcher for Milwaukee. He's a right-handed hurler for the Panthers.
7 appearances, 13 and a third innings, 20 hits, 12 runs, 11 earned, 4 walks, 9 strikeouts, giving up a couple home runs. Doesn't have a record. He's 7.43 ERA. That first pitch fastball you see there, as he'll zing it in. It's going to get in there right around 90. He'll throw a curveball and a slider as well, or changeup and slider, sorry.
Operates solely out of the stretch. He's positioned in the middle of the rubber. Right-hander threw it by Swales. And the 0-1 pitch is fouled over the Iowa dugout to the right, 0-2.
Yeah, and that was 89 right down the middle. Ben's need to be ready for that, although now he's going to have to be alert for the other pitches at this point.
Swales, one of several Iowa hitters batting over 300. He's 353 right now. Pops it in the air right side, fouling out of play. I have to go back and look. Is this the first time this year that Iowa has gone with somebody other than Ben Wilmus at the top of the order?
Yeah, but they didn't deviate too far. At least they stuck with a guy named Ben.
Yeah.
Didn't want to try anything too crazy.
I was talking with Coach earlier about that, and he said, yeah, we're going to give Ben the day off, and then Ben's going to lead off. 0-2. Swales takes a high strike 3 call. Ben is down on strikes. Firm fastball. Good-looking pitch.
Yeah, that was 91. Weckler had a little bit extra there. Great pitch. Up and away. Ben Swales was looking for something maybe that was going to spin and just decided to come right at him.
Here's Gable Mitchell. Standing in from the left side, he brings in a 30-game on-base streak. Swings at the first pitch, make it 31 with a single to right field. Always swinging at the first pitch, isn't he? If it's there, he's giving it a rip.
He doesn't really give a pitcher a pitch off. Sometimes you throw one of those get-me-overs and try to get ahead, and you try a get-me-over with Gable, and he's going to attack it, and you'll regret it.
He was on time for that changeup, wasn't he?
Absolutely. It was like he had a sense of what was coming there, and again, the Hawkeye scouting report, pretty good. So saw something he liked, recognized the changeup right away, and drilled it.
Here's Reese Moore with 1 out in the Iowa first. No score between the Panthers and the Hawkeyes. Fastball outside to Reese. Reese gets the start behind the dish today. He's catching for Iowa. He's happy to be hitting at home these next few games. Drew a ton of walks against Northwestern and Evanston, but cooled off from a hitting perspective over the weekend.
Yeah, it's nice when you cool off and your average is still 350.
Right.
Just didn't have the loud hits that he'd had the series before.
Milwaukee outfielders pinching the right gap, the right center gap. Ball, no strikes on Moore. Throw it over to first base for the 3rd time in a row. Gable's back.
Was not a charm.
Didn't work out. We've alluded to it a few times as we look for Iowa to maybe get a little bit more active on the base paths as Moore swings over the top of the changeup, 1-1. But at some point, like we've talked about over the years that we've done this, John, at some point maybe you just are who you are, and Iowa hasn't found the opportunities to run on opponents yet. Moore lines this into right field. Cut off by the right fielder, but Mitchell will get from second to third as Reese clubbed it near the line and right. Runners at the corners and 1 out for the Hawks.
Well, the other thing that slows your running game down is when you're 4th in the conference in slugging percentage. You're slugging over 500, so you don't really want to run yourself out of innings, so you give yourself an opportunity, and certainly Gable Mitchell doesn't want to run with the way Reese Moore's been hitting. And so, you don't want to open up a base and let him pitch around him. And Riz has done a nice job batting behind Reese and protecting him.
We'll see Risley now. Iowa's starting center fielder. Cleanup spot for the Hawks today. First pitch to Risley, hits in the air to center. Headley's camped underneath it. He makes the catch. Mitchell tagging from third. He'll score. Sacrifice fly for Miles. Risley puts Iowa on the board. It's 1-0 in the first.
Probably not a pitch you want Risley to swing at a lot. Changeup exceptionally well located, but he did the job. He was able to elevate it, get it up there, and you think about all the pressure that Milwaukee put on in the top of the first inning and then didn't get anything out of it. Iowa immediately responds and gets that run, gets one on the board.
Here's Blake Guerin, starting first baseman for Iowa today, making his 7th start of the season. First pitch to Blake. Ooh, hit him in the hand. He'll take first base. A little bit of a delayed response there from Blake. It was up and in. Didn't hit the knob of the bat. It hit him in the hand. Always dangerous to get hit anywhere around that wrist, all those small bones in the hand.
Well, exactly. Too many little bones there. And, boy, you can get hit a lot of places and shake it right off. Hand is not one of those spots that you want to mess with.
Designated hitter number 36.
Blake will take his time and head on down to first base. Two outs in the inning for Tyler Guerin.
We're going to have to talk to Tyler about his walk-up music.
Good song, don't you think? But I don't know if it fits the ballpark. What do you think? Tyler 2 for 3 in at bats this season. Takes a